Welcome back. It's another payday, and this payday I have $5,787.06 to go ahead and budget. Every time I get paid, I like to take my paycheck and stick it into the software on screen, which is called YNAB. And I use this software to give every single dollar a job, basically to just direct my funds to where I want them to go. This helps me plan ahead and it also helps me to spend according with the things that I value. And that's how I've set up my budget here. Just a little background on this income. My paycheck was $4,867.06. Out of this paycheck, I did not have any automatic deductions invested, so I did not contribute to my HSA or 401k or anything like that. And my partner contributed $920, so that gets us to our total that we have at the top. And so we're in the month of December now, as unbelievable as that is. And some of the bills for the very first few days of the month have already started to come out. So you can see rent, storage, garage, and building utilities, which are all a part of my rent payment. Those already came out for this month, and those were already funded. So I had assigned money from my previous paychecks here so that when it rolled around to the 1st of December, that money was already there and ready to go. I did have to move some money around because it looked like something weird was going on with our building utilities where the company had been undercharging us for our water supply for the past like 6 months. And it wasn't just me, it was everyone in our whole community. So I had my regular monthly charge for this month, plus all of the back charges from like May, I think, until now. And so now we are back like to where we should be with that company. And the average spent in this category is still like 53.67, even with this kind of double payment going on. Now that we are here, I will go ahead and move this 396 from holding, which is where I just keep any change that I gather throughout the month. And we will start budgeting out what we need for the rest of this month. And I always like to start with my fixed cost focus view, just because fixed costs are all of the things that you know you're going to have to pay for in the month. So that's like a roof over your head. It's, if you have any debt payments, if you have any, like if you have a car payment, if you need to buy groceries, gas, all those charges that no one can predict are going to come out in a month. That's what I would consider to be a fixed cost. So I like to start there since these are the things that have to get paid. So this money that I have here needs to make sure it's covering those expenses. We'll start with the home category. As I said, these first few charges have come out, but I still have more to cover here. So utilities, this is our gas and electric. This gets $400 for the month. Utility bills are not usually that much. As you can see, our average spent is $279.78. So we're a little under 300 in the average for the past 11 months. But I just like to keep a little extra here just in case, especially going into the winter months. And I can move around any extra as needed toward the end of the month. All right, Wi-Fi is $125. Renter's insurance, this is a sinking fund, so I assign money here every single month. And then when this payment is due, I have everything that I need there to go ahead and make the payment rather than trying to fund this all in one month. I fund it a little bit every single month. So this gets $15 to keep us on track there with our target. Cleaning service, we get our apartment cleaned about twice a month. It's usually $300 for 2 cleanings, but because this is December, it's the end of the year, I think it's pretty like standard to pay for an additional cleaning as a holiday gift or holiday bonus for the people that keep our house in order. So I'm going to add an extra $150 there to make that $450 for this month. Household goods, this is probably one of my most frequent spending categories. This gets $800. And this is for any consumables that come out for us during the month. So paper towels, toilet paper, lotion, any little bits and bobs like that will be covered by household goods. Moving on to food and drink. First up is meal kit. And Made some changes recently. I paused the subscription meal kit service that we were using, and I wanted to try out a different company that allows you to kind of purchase things a la carte and without any sort of monthly commitment or weekly commitment. So we can just order when we want to. And if we don't want to order a week, we don't have to. We don't have to worry about being charged. I did place a couple of orders already for December. So I think for now, I'm just gonna put this at 450 and then add more as needed, and we'll adjust that going into the new year as I figure out A, if we like this service, and B, if we're going to keep it up. Okay, then we have groceries. I've set aside how much? 1/3 of what I need here. So I'm gonna add the other $200 and then that will be fully funded. And then next up we have meals at work. I like to set aside enough here for my partner to be able to get whatever they need when they're at work, for breakfast, lunch, or sometimes dinner, depending on when they're working. So that is $200. Okay, I think I'm good with that for food and drink. And I will snooze meal kit for now, but I will probably add some more to this by the end of the month. And then planes, trains, and automobiles. This is my transportation category group. And the first category is my car loan, which gets $600 a month. Let's see, I'm curious here. Does it tell me how much I have left? No. Okay. Well, I think I'm coming up on like a year or so left of the car payment, and then it will be all paid off. So that is pretty exciting. Auto insurance is $228. This is another sinking fund, so I contribute a bit toward this every single month, and then when the insurance comes out every 6 months, I already have what I need saved up there. Taxes, registration, and fees. This will get $67, another sinking fund. I did pay my registration last month, so you can see that some money has been pulled out already, and I'll continue to just keep funding this throughout the year. Car cleaning and maintenance gets $20. I need to go get my car washed. That's another good reminder. And then seasonal tire swap, I had my tires and wheels swapped earlier, and I also got some other maintenance, like I got my wiper blades replaced. So it ended up being a little bit more than $100. And so I think what I probably will do here is edit the target just to make it a little more realistic. I'll just go with 140. And I'm going to say it'll be due in 2026. Let's just say, let's go with like April. We'll just go with April 30th. Is that too late? Yeah, that's probably too late. Let's go with March 30th. That's probably too early. I don't know. See, this really depends on the temperatures. Let me just put April 15th for now, and I'll leave it alone. So what just happened here? I don't know. It says I haven't met my targets. Let me edit this, delete, and try again. So let's just set aside, I'll just do 160 by, okay, I want to set this up to be, is it a custom one? I can't remember. Yeah, okay. Custom target. There's so many different target types in YNAB. I saw someone that made a chart of all the different types of targets on the Reddit. I didn't realize there were so many customizations that you can do, but there are. And so sometimes I forget. So I'm going to do a custom target due on the 15th of April. I'll repeat that every 6 months and save it. And then there we go. But it's saying I'm on track, but I'm not because I've spent from this. So let's just add. Okay, I don't know what this will do. Let's add, okay, if I add $40 there. Oh, this is so off. This is so off. Okay, let me undo that. I'm going to try one more time. I'm going to delete this. And if I add back, I don't know. This is not what I want to do. Okay, hold on. Let me figure this out. I think what I want to do, you guys are probably staring at this and you probably know the exact solution, but I cannot figure this out for the life of me in the moment. So I already had some money here, and I wish there was a way to go back and see how much I had assigned before I spent this, but I guess I'm over. by 40.28. So if I assign another 40.28, okay, now I have 40.28 there, but I still had, I don't know, I still had some money here. All right, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to add 45. And then I'm going to flip over to January and see how much it's asking me for. Oh, it's not asking me for anything yet. So I'm going to create a target here, custom. I want this due on April 15th. Repeat every 6 months. Okay, save. Oops, and the target will be 160. Okay, it says I need $40 to stay on track. So now if I go back and let's just say add 25 more dollars here. It's still saying I need 40 bucks. Ugh, I'm so confused. All right, I will figure this out, I guess. Offline because I am super confused. Apparently, I need a lesson on targets because I cannot get this to work how I want it. Okay. I don't know. This is so off. Okay, it says I have assigned 110.28, which I haven't. But if I go, what happens if I go back a month and then add $40? Okay, so now I'm like, now I have 110-ish dollars here. It says I've assigned 110, so that kind of matches up. And if I go to next month, I need 13 more dollars. Okay, I'm going to do that to get me sort of back to where I was before I ended up having to spend more than I anticipated. So let me just add one more dollar. And then now I have 111. Okay, perfect. So I'm on track now. And now the target actually will match going forward, I believe. So I think, don't quote me on that. And I don't think I know what I'm doing, but I think that's going to work for now. Okay, so charging. That's my last category in my planes, trains, and automobiles category group. This is just to charge my car so that I can drive it. And so that gets $80 a month. I'm curious what I've been spending because I know it has not been $80. Average 50. So maybe I'll edit this target actually to 60. And then just make this 60 instead. Okay, then I have my personal care category, which is just for any personal care items that you wouldn't get at a drugstore or like a Target, Walmart, grocery store. So anything that I want to buy that's a little bit fancy, I pull from here. And I'm going to have to restock. I already know I'm going to have to restock a bunch of stuff. So let me just make that $250 for the month. And then active services. These are our subscriptions that we are currently using. So I will fund all of these. I started funding the ones that come out at the beginning of the month with my last check, but we'll just keep going down the list for now. So Apple Music is $13. Chani, which is my astrology app, is $14. Peloton is $50 a month. And Apple Cloud Storage is $10 for a total underfunded of $87. So when I hit that, these will all be funded at once like magic. Voila. And Walmart and New York Times All Access, these are two subscriptions that I pay for every month, but then I am reimbursed immediately by my credit card, so I'm not going to set aside any money there. And then annual fees, these are fees that come out once a year for different types of services. So first up is my Chase Sapphire card annual fee that gets $8 a month. These are sinking funds. So I set all these up with targets based on when they're due, and then I contribute 1/12 of that every single month. So then when it's due, I have what I need to pay them. YNAB gets $8. Amex Blue Cash will get $7. Amazon Prime gets $12. Costco $5, Microsoft 365 gets $13, Samsung TV Art gets $5, Amex Platinum gets $123, Amex Gold gets $29, and Aura will get $7. And Uber One is another one that's reimbursed by my credit card, so I'm not going to set aside any money there. I've already set aside money for upcoming debt payments, so I'm not going to worry about either of those. And fixed costs are fully funded. Once I funded fixed costs, I like to go over and fund my savings goals next. So I have a couple things I want to fund here, and I may end up coming back to them in the end. But out of pocket gets $125. That's just for any costs that I incur for anything related to medical, vision, dental. So I'll set aside some money there. Lifestyle, I have my next trip category. I set aside funds for vacation in my last video for upcoming trips so far in 2026, so I'm not going to add anything there at the moment. And then I have my giving categories. So I have festivities, gifts for others, and mutual aid, which I fund every single month. And I will fund all of those. And for giving, I've now met my goal for this year for festivities, which is $1,500. And you can see I've already spent quite a bit on gifts, decorations, just stuff to get us into the holiday vibe. So I should be good with the rest of this, but I think it was money well saved and spent. Lastly, we have guilt-free spending. So these categories are ones that I spend from every month, guilt-free. I'm going to set aside $36 for hobbies. I'm not going to give myself any free guilt-free money this month because I don't have anything that I anticipate or think I need to buy for myself. I will set aside $36 for the gym that I recently joined. For coffee, I will set aside $150 total. And for takeout and delivery, I'm thinking we probably will order less takeout because of this new meal service, but we may not. I'm just going to fund this up to $1,000 for now. Snooze it. And then with this 27402, I'm kind of two minds about this. So the first thing I'm thinking is I'm probably going to want to add more to meal kit. Oh, wait, this says underfunded $14. What is that? Oh, Apple TV. Okay. I need to update my fixed cost view because I moved Apple TV Plus from inactive subscriptions to active, I believe, and I did not select it. So it's not a part of the fixed cost view. So now that it's selected, it will show up here and I can go ahead and fund that going forward. So where is that? Okay, so let's take care of that. All right, so now I have 26002. So as I said, I'm of two minds of this. The first thing I'm thinking about adding this to is to my out-of-pocket because I do have therapy coming up and I already know that. I have one appointment booked for this month. I don't know if I'm going to end up having two in December or not. So it probably makes sense to go ahead and set aside just another $135. And between these two categories, that should cover what I need for therapy. The other thing I'm thinking about, of course, as usual, is this food and drink. So I think I'm just going to set aside the $125 here in meal kit for now, and we'll see how this all sort of plays out for this month. It'll be an interesting one because I'll be here for some of it. I'll be other places for part of it. So I don't exactly know how my food spending, is going to go. So we shall see. And then I'm adding this last little bit to holding. And that is it. Thank you so much. And I will catch you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.